Okay, so what changes are you seeing within hospitality from a brand and marketing perspective?
I think that with the advent of Citizen M, with 25 Hours, with Motel One, now with Jazz, the Jazz in the City product in Amsterdam, hospitality is being driven, change is being driven from the smaller groups, and it's spread like wildfire into the larger groups. The industry I've talked about for many years, but in 2014 I talked about the 25-year since 80. What had happened in hospitality in the last 25 years? Given what had happened in the world in the last 25 years, the Berlin Wall came down, the advent of the internet, city landscapes completely changed. Hospitality stayed the same. In the last 2 years, hospitality has been driven through the advent of experience, through the new way of looking at target markets as no longer as demographics but as typologies, and not just through the smaller brands that I just mentioned, but now through individual products, realizing that are being managed, small groups, 5, 10 hotels, that are being managed or were being managed as individuals are now being managed as brands.
Okay. And you've got offices, around the world.
Right.
Where's the most innovative area within the hotel space? Where are the brands really looking?
I think in Europe. I think here in Europe. I think, interestingly, again, going back to this kind of late 80s, early 90s, Asia was dominant. Mandarin Oriental, Peninsula, Shangri-La, many would say the foundations of sort of traditional modern hospitality. Today, all of those brands, perhaps with the exception of Peninsula, are no longer hold the cachet that they used. No longer hold the cachet that they used to hold. Today, it's people understanding that luxury, that word that I try never to use, and I certainly ban from our offices, is found in a very small room, in an experience with a hotel associate or ambassador. There's many experiences now. There's many operating companies that are operating from the bottom up rather than from the top down, where the ambassadors are the people that represent the brands and are the people that are having the conversations and are forming the memories that bring the guests back.
So is short-term rental and the growth of Airbnb, unique experiences, particularly, targeting the millennial traveller and the mindset, what takeaways are the
I think that feeds exactly what I was saying before, that Airbnb is feeding a typology. It's feeding a mindset or a group of people, and as I said, not a demographic, but a type of people that are looking for a more personalized experience, in some regards, a more home, where it's Airbnb or they're like a home experience. And the reason why it's grown why short-term rental has grown like wildfire, and I'm not trying to push service departments here, but also service departments will absolutely explode with this, is people want discretion. People want to be private. They want to form their own experience. And when you're in your own apartment or you're in your own villa or whatever it is, you can cook, you can have your private experience, create your private memory to your own definition. And there's a growing and a massive demographic that's driving that. And I think that also talks to people, the typology driving locale. You want, when you go, if you're a more seasoned traveler, you want to stay in a place where you feel comfortable. You want to stay, you know what you want and you're able to define it. And if you're able to look along a website and look at 30 different apartments, say, yeah, that's mine. I was in the Jazz Hotel in Amsterdam yesterday, and I was talking to some guests, and the lady who I was talking to was saying, I said, why do you like this room? And she said, I love this room because it's like a room that I would have designed for myself at home, but haven't been able to do. So there's a desire in the architecture and in the interior design that you probably don't have the funds, or you don't have the ability to create your own, but it's something that you actually really like, rather than the box hotel room, where it could be anything, as we all know, and it has nothing defined, it has nothing distinguished with it, and it creates no desire.
So from a hotel marketing perspective, and maybe looking at the future with a crystal ball, what advice are you giving hoteliers, to look at?
I think that it depends who you're talking. I think, Piers, it depends who you're talking to. We work with the very large brands, and we work with relatively small brands as well. And for the large brands, they're dealing with an asset portfolio of tens of thousands of rooms, and they need to adapt as fast as they can in order to protect their portfolios. And that's why you're seeing all of the large brands creating multiple sub-brands as a reaction to try and drive that typology. For the smaller operators, the opportunity is immense, because they're the ones who can define. Look what Michael Levy has done with Citizen M. He's actually created and defined an experience that he knows his typology is craving, and we all know, and we can all see what's happened, and there are many other examples like that. So, yeah, I think for the smaller operators, you can be proactive, and what you're seeing with the larger operators is being reactive. What I'm also seeing with the smaller operators is they're growing regionally. So what's happening is and we have several clients in this situation, where they have 2 or 3 hotels in one location, or in a region, or in a county, or in a state, or something, and they're seeing that once they create brand equity in a desire and brand equity in the brand above that is the management brand, that desire is also looked for outside of that locale, and they can go to the country next door or to the state next door, and they're seeing a lot of success in that way.